Good morning, everybody. It's David Lee. I'm director of the company from Orient Telecom Hong Kong. Here's Max from As Good As New, one of the most reputable company from Germany. Luckily, we are here in the beautiful city Amsterdam, and we are in the event of Reconnect. So we have our guests for our podcast section. So our main theme is all about Europe Talks Hong Kong. So we are going to share some marketing insight about Hong Kong market and also how do European companies feel about Hong Kong. First of all, Max, as you know, Hong Kong market has been one of the biggest hub for the mobile phone industry globally, right? So first of all, could you share with us a little bit, what do you think of Hong Kong market overall?
First of all, I want to say thank you very much for having me today, David. It's a pleasure being here in this nice location as well as to be on your podcast. And it's actually a great topic for us because I think it's very insightful to see how we as a German player are trying to get into this Hong Kong hub to see what can we do there. And for us, or also for me and in my position as B2B partner manager, where I try to get new purchase sources from all around the world. Hong Kong is a little bit like a entrance for us into the Asian market. Yeah, it's not as big, as wide as, for example, mainland China would be. This is more concentrated, which makes it easier to find something. On the other hand, is also we have, for example, the German Chamber of Commerce there, where I also try to get some information about companies who work with. And so, I think it's concentrated. It's also a little bit more easier to get information of for us. And that's why we started there in order to begin our Asia journey, you could say.
Very well. Thank you so much for your sharing, Max. I really appreciate that. So as you said, Hong Kong actually is a very good market for purchase from Hong Kong and also sell from Hong Kong, right? But we don't talk about that because it's your confidential information. So all in all, you think Hong Kong is a good market, pretty safe to purchase there?
Yeah.
All in all, because you got some support from the German chambers and etc.
Right. So I think this was quite important because in general, for us, it was really new to go into the Asian market for purchasing. I mean, most of the goods of the used phones somehow go through Asian country and then go back to Europe most of the time. And so it was for us only a logical step to somehow reach there instead of only being the third or fourth or fifth person in the row, working with companies in Europe that already have those connections. So we reached out and also can really open about it that I was lucky to find your guys at the IFA connection in 2024, which made it also easier because you're a well-known brand also. Because it's sometimes it's really an open or a blank space. You don't know really nothing about companies. You only can find the homepage or you can some information. And so it's good that also Hong Kong is reaching out more and more, I feel, into the European market and be there at the Reconnect Expo, be there at IFA, for example, to be visible. And then it's easier also for us to reach out and get in contact.
Got it well. So as you might know that actually the Hong Kong market has been located in Hong Kong since 1990s. So it's more than almost 30 years. I would like to ask, what do you think of Hong Kong market comparing to 5 years ago and until now?
I cannot really relate to the 5 years ago because I don't have the insights for that. But what I can see through the last 2 years of my journey is that I can see more and more companies from Hong Kong be visible in Europe and on the events, definitely. And in general, I think it's also a very nice possibility for the connections as it's a little bit more transparent, I think, than, for example, the Chinese market. And so I think from my perspective or from my experience, I think Hong Kong also realized its kind of peak position in the Asian market and tries to make the best out of it.
Exactly. I would say that Hong Kong now is one of the best market for all the overseas companies to place their purchase there. because as you know, Hong Kong has huge variety of stores and everything mostly are ready to ship. No matter Apple, Google, Samsung, whatever gradings you are looking for. Would you mind to share with us some insight of purchasing from Hong Kong?
Mm-hmm.
What are the good things and bad things? Yeah.
So when we purchase from Hong Kong at this point, we usually bought graded iPhones. Yeah, so this the most products we bought there, and it's very clear about the grading, for example. Very similar for the vendors there. This is quite good because if every vendor has different gradings, it makes it hard to compare. So this I experienced that there was kind of a uniformity in grading. This is what I liked. You get a lot of A and A plus devices, or also directly from Apple refurbished, for example. Which
CPO.
CPO grade, right? Which is always good. On the other hand, for example, especially the CPO devices, the price point for us, it's not always good. So, but this is also a little bit of our problem because for example, if you go to our homepage and you search for a like new device, or as good as new, you can say, like our company name, there you could probably get a 14 days return, which is basically a new device, still a brand new box. Only the seal is broken, still has guarantee, which also applies to the CPO models. But you could also get from a customer that after 1 year, that did the trade-in through our portal, you have like 92% battery and a like new appearance. And this is basically the same. And this means for us, it's always easier and in terms of pricing also better to purchase graded A or A plus instead of the CPO. But we're working on that because we realized that we're missing out some opportunities there. And I'm quite sure that as soon as we brought in like this new category, which is like 100% battery, including Apple warranty, then we will be able to purchase even more CPO and A plus as plus devices from Hong Kong.
That's right. I would say that Apple direct stock like CPO and C plus is getting more and more popular for European and also for the rural markets because of the grading, the warranty, and etc.
Right.
And in response to your question of the good things of purchasing from Hong Kong, right? I really agree with that because as you know that Hong Kong is one of the biggest hub for the used phones and etc. So I'm not sure whether you know that there are actually more than 300 telecom companies in Hong Kong. And we mainly purchase from the top Taiwan supplier in the world, like from the USA, Japan, Europe, UK, mainly from those carriers auctions. So that's why, as you said, you can easily access to a lot of good grading and good quantity devices because, you know, I don't have a specific data. Actually, for Orient Telecom, we are in the building located in Kundong, the number 1 building. And inside this building, there are more than probably 200, 300 companies on every floor.
Okay.
And probably you can guess like how many units of devices we are processing for 1 day. I mean, for the whole building. 1 day, like...
Or probably a 6-digit number, a couple of 100,000 maybe even.
Yeah, that's very close. I mean, what I heard is that probably every day the whole building is processing around at least 500,000 to 1 million unit of devices. Of course, I mean, including all the items, all the gradings, all the brands, and etc. So as you have been talking about a lot about the good things of purchasing from Hong Kong, but actually we also want to listen some bad feedback of purchasing from Hong Kong. Is there any bad experience or not at all?
No, not really a bad experience. But one thing is also maybe a little bit on our side, is that obviously it is easier to ship from the Netherlands to Germany than it's easier than it is from Hong Kong to Germany. So if you plan to purchase from Hong Kong, you have to make sure that you're on one hand, you're able to import everything on your own. You have the carrier on hand. You have insured logistics on hand, everything. Or you find a source or a partner where they take care of everything. in, which obviously will increase the price a little bit, but some offer those all-in packages. I could say, this is something you have to keep in mind. But on the other hand, positively, when I first purchased in Hong Kong, I thought, okay, maybe the goods take like 10 to 14 days or something to be in Germany. I don't know what I thought. They come by ship or whatever. But in the end, it was did not take that long, more than 2 or 3 days longer than it would have taken from the Netherlands or so. So it was going really, really quick and really smooth. I think only 1 or 2 times there happens that the goods will be kept in customs for 1 or 2 days. But this is normal, if you purchase from outside of the EU, you just have to be able to have your data that you can present to the carrier or to the customs, and then it's fine.
I see. So it sounds like nowadays shipping from Hong Kong into Europe is very easy.
Yes.
The lead time is almost like you're purchasing from local European
for us,
markets.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good to know. And Max, I would say that I wish you can be my customer because you never talk about the bad feedback and etc. So I would say that you're very optimistic.
Yes, definitely.
Well, Max, what do you think of the future trend of purchasing from Hong Kong for the from the European company? You think the volume will be increased or moving steady?
In general, I mean, the market in Europe is not going as we would have expected it maybe 2-3 years ago. That maybe is also a connection to the crisis we have in several areas of the world right now. So I don't know if the volume after all will increase, but what I can say that with a rising number of competitors or even OEMs or telcos offering their own trade-in businesses, and they're like getting a piece of the cake for themselves, it makes it more and more important for the European companies to reach out to other sources. And then, I mean, Hong Kong, like I said, when discussed earlier, is one of the number one spots where you can do that. So my guess would be yes, the numbers should be increasing. Maybe not that high because never know what happened and how the market will go, but in terms of market share, European companies probably do not have other options than to reach out further into the world.
Got you. I really like the saying you just mentioned, Max. Hong Kong is not one of the best. It's the number one market spot for European company to purchase outside European Union. So thank you for that, Max. So I would say that with the increasing demand from the local market, from the end users for the used phones and secondary devices. So at the same time, as you know, some of the local company, they are changing their business model. So they have to take the price. So you need more supply, of course, right? So you have to look for the source outside Europe. So with everything together, I think in the future, there will be more and more demands for Hong Kong market from European companies. That's good. So Max, I think this is all my questions about the theme of Europe plus Hong Kong. Would you would like to ask me any questions in return about Hong Kong market?
Yeah.
Feel free,
Yeah, definitely. It's you already mentioned that there are probably around 300 companies. Obviously, I'm also eager to increase business with you guys, but what would you recommend, or how could a European company make sure that they find the right partner out of these 300? So what to look for and how to make sure that you get the right one?
I would say that that's a very good question. Because like our position, we also want to ask clients or partners how we can look for the right customer. So it's a similar question. So first of all, I would say that, as you know, in our business, every order involves probably quite big amount of transaction. So you have to look for the right supplier so you can pay them upfront. So for me, based on our experience, first of all, you have to make sure this Hong Kong supplier is legitimate. By checking them online, like on different kind of platforms. And secondly, I think as you could see that nowadays in our industry, there are more and more events, more and more platforms. So I think that is also the way we can check if the supplier or the buyer are certified are good or not, or if we can pay them upfront. So I think you have to check them online and also asking different platforms for references. And at the same time, you can also send your agent to visit their actual office. And actually, that's one of the main reasons why we would have 5 offices in Hong Kong. And we have one of the biggest showroom now for the clients worldwide. Because I think that kind of setup can increase the certainty and also the confidence from different clients from the global markets.
Yes. Have you actually thought about, or even have that in place, maybe like a showroom or contact office in Europe somewhere?
At the moment, I think we don't consider that because of the complicating taxation, etc.
I see.
Because we are based in Hong Kong and we don't touch the stake of VAT and etc.
Yeah.
So I think, as you know, this pie is big enough. So we are based in Hong Kong. We work as the distributor. So that's why we just want to enhance our servers, enhance our internal system to work better on our own position. So I think at the moment we are not considering to have any setup and warehouse in Europe so far.
And my question was originally not going like a warehouse or something, but for example, that you have kind of a showroom, for example, in Berlin, in order to make it easier to reach out to you guys than flying to Hong Kong, for example, something like that.
Oh, you mean we can work with as good as new for the new showroom?
We can discuss, you know, because it was just came to my mind that probably, like you said, it's a good way of building trust, you know, going to the showroom, talking to the people and seeing the goods and everything. The distance is still quite an issue, you know, so if you have the possibility or the reach to get a couple of contacts coming there, I could imagine being the first who actually has a showroom or at least someone to meet, a representative in Europe would also be beneficial maybe for your enterprise.
That's good. That's actually a very good idea, and we have been thinking about that. But at the end, we didn't execute such idea or planning. It's mainly due to lack of talents for our companies at the moment.
We have the same issue in Germany or Europe, I think.
Exactly. So, as you know that talents is a good asset for for a company. That's why for now we don't have any planning so far. But hopefully we will find the right partner so we can set it up.
Otherwise, I have to convince my company that I'll come to Hong Kong one day.
Definitely, you should come because Hong Kong market is very good nowadays. I think you can easily access to a lot of different companies and suppliers. Any more questions, Max?
I think that's it for the moment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for your time and sharing. I would say that such marketing insight from a local European company is very valuable for Hong Kong market, for other company also. So, Ordino, Max, have a good show here in Reconnect. Hopefully to see you soon.
Definitely. Thank you too for having me.
Thank you.